Since you came to university, you learned a lot of things inside the classrooms and outside the classroom. You know, and even in the corridors, when you meet each other, you greet each other, you learn.
Even when people ask me if I have the resources, should I do private O levels and A levels, I say no, you shouldn't do that, because in schools you learn the ethics of things.
Yes, this is how it should be. Because in our community, I have seen this that we have this culture of over advising. We keep advising people, keep advising, and we know that they can't do anything
And this
about
advice
it.
is, in the air. It's not helpful. If you ask for the stats, you will be surprised how many Pakistani students are out of school. Like
Share
some time ago, it was declared there are 20,000 students that are Pakistani students that are out of school.
Due to financial reasons,
Yes.
in terms of their knowledge, everything. So how can we come together as a community to help each other?
I would say,
Assalamu alaikum. I'm your host Samia Mahmood. Today we are here with another episode of One Degree Change. Today we'll be talking about financial and educational crisis of Pakistani students living in UAE. And on this very special and pressing topic, we have a special guest, Afeerah, who will be talking about her struggles. Assalamu alaikum, Afeerah.
Walaikum salam. Sami, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Alhamdulillah.
Thank you for coming.
No problem. It's my pleasure.
Okay, because this issue is very pressing, and a lot of people are facing this issue because sometimes they come out of the school due to some reasons, financial reasons, and they are not able to go back, and the year and time goes by, and they don't know how to catch up and where to get the private education, or are there any options available? So I want you to talk about your journey.
Of course, I can resonate with this, and because I faced financial issues, I know friends who I empathize with because they've faced visa issues. Of course, it's like a cause and effect thing.
Right.
Financial issues cause a lot of other issues, and there are many Pakistani students, even other nationalities, who face the same issues. I think it's such it's a topic that people don't think happens within the UAE.
Or
But
sometimes they don't talk about it, or
don't.
they feel shy.
Of course, people feel ashamed talking about it, because even for me, for the longest, it was so hard to, say, yes, I was out of school. But again,
And I need help. You need courage for that, to
yes,
ask for help.
Of course, you need a lot of courage to ask for help. It's such a hard thing to ask for help, because you feel like others would degrade you. But that's not a thing. I feel like humans, we're a society, and we need to help each other. Without helping each other, we cannot build that society. And yesterday, if someone helped me, today I am going to help someone.
Right,
And that
right.
has been with my whole journey. Someone was helping me, I was helping someone else, and that has been going on, and it was like a trickling effect.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So when you stopped, when you came out of the school,
Okay, so for me, it was after grade 8.
Right.
I was out of school. I was going between Pakistan and UAE, and it was this whole thing that I could not stabilize because we were having financial issues, and we didn't know if we were going to build a future in Pakistan or build a future in UAE. Of course, we wanted to be here, but it was so hard at that time. There were some personal issues and all of that. So after that, my mom is really educated, mashallah. She's a master's. She's a teacher herself, and she was educating others. So for her, it was so painful to see her own kids out of school.
Right.
And
I can imagine her pain.
yeah, of course. My dad was also, of course, he's an educated person, and he was, of course, very worried. So he came up with the solution of doing O levels and A levels privately. So
Right.
that was a good solution at that time.
So there's always option available.
Of course, I would say staying out of school is horrible, of course, because what you study at a school, at an institution, is more than just a curriculum. There's
Right.
also hidden curriculum where you're getting confidence, you're understanding how the world works.
You're socializing.
I did not get that aspect, and sometimes I feel as an adult I sometimes lack that, even though my mother tried so hard to compensate. She would have painting classes with other kids for us. She would ask us to speak. She would take us to different places, to just understand how the world works. She worked really hard on us, okay? So that was there. But still, that atmosphere students don't get. But again, stopping education should not be an option. Unless, of course, for example, I did not have that issue where I had the visa and everything, right? So I could go for British Council. But there are students who wouldn't have that option.
Right.
There this problem starts, right? That could be a problem for students over here. But if you have just a financial issue and you can gather a bit of money. You can go for just the exams for O levels
Okay,
and A
so
levels.
this is the option available for the
Yes, for
students who
them.
are out of the school. Is there
Yes.
any age limit for that?
For me at that time, I don't think.
When did you resume? Like after 1 year or 2 year, or you were continuing?
So at that time, I think I was 16. It was a long back, a long time now. So I think I was
You're still
16
young
when.
about that.
So I
Long
was
back.
16 back then when I started my O levels. I had to do it really
This is the
quick.
right age. Normally, students
Yes.
are
Yeah, that
16
is
when they
the time
do
I
it.
started thinking about it. Like,
Okay.
okay, I should do O levels. And I don't remember exactly the time frame, but yeah, at that time, when I thought about it, I got books. I got used books. Here's the thing. Here's a good thing about getting educated now in this era. You do not need as many resources. You don't have a limit of resources now.
Right.
Yeah, your resources are free, most of them now, because you even have the internet. I downloaded books, I have watched YouTube videos. Of course, it was not enough because I did not have a teacher. My parents were both working. They could not give me that much time. They were still trying their best. But, and
But
I
I
was.
think the way they have raised you, because you are also my student, I know you are a very responsible type of person. You know your thing that, the thing you want to achieve, the thing you want to study, you will do it by
I,
yourself.
I feel like this comes when, you just know you have no other choice. You just have to be helpful towards yourself, not your parents. That doesn't stay about your parents anymore because it stays about you. Because if I at that time thought, oh, you know what, my parents aren't checking me, I should just not study. My future today wouldn't have been this, right?
Right, right.
And
So
I was
you
even.
had that sense of responsibility within you
Yes,
that I
and
want to achieve this.
exactly. And this the thing was that I was also working at that time.
Even
As
at that time.
yes, I started
That's
working.
remarkable.
I started working when I was around 14, but the work that I did was teaching tuitions.
Fine, fine.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
My mom also told me she started teaching tuitions when she was in grade 7. So she told me that this is such a handy thing. If you're educated, this is your biggest asset. This is what my grandfather told her. Teaching is an asset. Take it with you wherever you go because
Right.
when you have nothing, you are able to educate people. You have respect in the society. And I feel that thing motivated me. I started teaching kids, young kids at that time, younger than me. I started teaching them. And there I was getting a passive income, which I was, of course, able to help with my education. Of course, it wasn't fully compensating it, but, my parents were, of
What
course.
was the feeling by working at very young age when you were telling your students who are just, laughing and playing and just studying, and you just took that financial responsibility and started earning? How was that feeling?
I would say it's more like, you start the feeling of independence, the feeling that you're capable of doing something is so important because that is the time when you understand the value of money.
Value of money.
I
True.
was, of course, I could empathize with my parents and I could understand they were going through something, but I could understand it more because I was earning because, hey, it's so hard to earn. Like when we grow up, like by the time, like my friends right now, they're 23, 24, they're like, oh my God, it feels like, oh my God, my parents had to go through so much struggle to earn. They're realizing it now, but I was realizing it at
It
15. Yeah.
then.
Yeah. So
Wow.
yeah, that is one thing that was a plus point.
Okay.
So I would say that struggle was there. O levels, I did not achieve really good grades, and I'm not ashamed of that because I was studying by myself. I had no as such help guidance. When I went to A levels, I had decided now is my chance to get the best grades because it's university time. My dream was to go to the biggest university, best university. So I studied so much. When before my A2 exams, I studied for during the whole night. I drank 4 cups of coffee. That even after the exams, my stomach hurt so much because it's not recommended to drink that much coffee. So 4 cups of coffee just in one day was just too much, and that was being done for one whole month. Every day 4 cups of coffee. So that struggle was real. And but
And
still,
and how many hours you studied a day?
I would study at least 12 hours. Yeah.
What?
Yes. I would wake up at 5 in the morning. I wouldn't even sleep like 3, 4 hours. I would just wake up and then I would start studying all over again. And my mom sometimes came up to my room and she's like, you're struggling. This is too much. I was like, no, I need these grades because I know I need a scholarship for university.
Right, right.
So I was doing my A levels, and during the struggle, of course, I was struggling, but there was help. I had help at that time because I made online friends, and one of my
Right.
friend still regard
That
him.
that's a good idea, by the way,
Yes,
for the students who want to get some type of mentorship or some type of guidance, I think using social media for the right purpose is a good idea.
Yes, my mom found me a group of students who were studying O levels and A levels.
And they were across the globe.
Yes, and they were mostly Pakistanis who started it, and then there were so many other students who came to that group. It
Right.
was a Facebook group, and during that time, I made a lot of friends there. There was one of he was younger than me, and he really was a nice, I would say a nice friend, Faizan. He introduced me to his teachers.
Right.
Yes, so in his school, he was studying in a school in Pakistan, and he introduced me to his friends, to his teachers, and those teachers, Miss Sadia, and then I had Mr. Samir. They were O level, A level teachers, and I still have so much, respect for them. They made me want to, become a teacher at that time. I was like, if I want to be a teacher, I want to be
I
like
want to
them.
be like
Yes,
them. Yes.
exactly. So, Miss Sadia helped me a lot with my English language, which I later, of course, all that struggle with A levels, I got a distinction in entire
It
UAE.
paid off.
Yes, it paid off, exactly. And she was so proud because she said, I teach in schools and these kids are paying so much money, but they did not do what you were
Because
capable
you
of
had
doing.
that passion, burning passion,
Yes, of
that I
course,
want to do
Yeah.
something. Even you were on different part of the planet.
Yeah.
She was in Pakistan, you were in
Exactly.
UAE,
Yeah.
but still you were able to
Yeah, exactly.
connect to her.
So, that confidence that she gave me. Then I had Mr. Samir. He taught me for free. For with Miss Sadia, at first she, helped me during my AS levels for free for some time. And then after that in A2, I realized she was in an institute. So I enrolled in that institute just to get, help from her for English language
Oh,
because
wow.
I had this goal that I needed to get ace it. So then for literature, I had Sir Samir who taught me for some time for free, but he would teach me as if I was paying him so much.
Yeah.
He would get angry if I made a mistake. He would correct my mistakes, and I still have so much respect for them.
Being a teacher, I can tell you something out from my experience, that student who are eager to learn, teacher wants to spend their life teaching them, because they think that these people are their real asset, who really wants to know something. It's not that they are paid, they are in the class because they have to, or they should be in the class, or no, they really want to absorb some knowledge. If somebody wants to take it, teachers are more ready to give. So I think she showered her all the knowledge on you as much as possible, because she knew that you were on the receiving end and you will receive it well.
I'm so grateful for that. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
good. That's good. And then what happened with your dream, to be in the best university, and what happened to that
So
dream?
I would say this was the point where I realized, sometimes the dreams that we have do not get achieved the way we want them to. Now,
Yeah.
of course, I was struggling and I was like, okay, now this is the breaking point. I'm going to get to the best university and like the success story. But like that didn't happen, of course, because life
And
has its
also,
own.
people say that more than destination, what matters is your journey.
Exactly. Exactly. And that journey came, with its struggles, but of course with its teaching points, with its morals, I would say. So at that time, I thought, okay, I got the best grades. I'm going to get to the best
So
universities.
you got the best grades in
Yes.
A levels. You
Yes.
achieved what you wanted
Yes,
to.
of course, with one distinction, and I had A stars. I was thinking, okay, perfect. I got what I needed. I knew students who were in the best schools in Pakistan, my friends, even here, they did not achieve those grades. So I was, of course, I had this ego
I'm way
boost.
ahead
Yeah,
them.
yes. But of course, I was grateful, I would say. But there came this point where I realized, oh no. Because what happened was that I applied to universities and one issue came up, which was the MOE equivalence. I applied for MOE equivalence, but the problem was that I did not realize it until I called British Council. I was like, why am I not getting it? There's a problem. They said there's this 10th point. As far as I remember, it's been a long time now.
Okay, Afeerah, this thing is new to me, that MOE doesn't recognize your A levels.
So if you're doing A levels in a school, O levels in a school, that is recognized because that is school education.
Right.
And the education that you do privately, apparently there is a line that they do give you before signing it. Before, of course, we were just like, so we didn't look into it too much. It was like, okay, everybody's doing, just like sign it and just give it.
And I
And.
think most of the time people don't know about certain type
Yes.
of things and
Yes.
clauses.
Yes, of course they don't know. And this, every time now, after this happened to me, every time someone comes to me, I'm like, no, don't do it privately. It's going to cause you problems. And a lot of people don't know that. So I would really say you should check into that. And I don't know if the same thing happens with Pakistani students in Pakistani board who give privately, because it could happen, because the same thing happens with GED, the same thing happens with A levels, the same thing happened with other platforms and other educational or you could say exams, that they end up not being able to get the MOA accreditation, because the thing is, MOA has set a standard. Study in schools. For example, with my sister, over here, she has in SPIA, like SPIA is a Sharjah, Sharjah-based educational institution. Like over here, we have KHD. They have given the instructions to different schools that, you need to give this thing, because MOE is trying to ensure that all students are studying in schools.
Right.
Now, I think this is a very
But
good
still,
thing.
you can go to university after getting that A levels privately?
The thing is, it depends. Over here, if you're going to universities that are MOE accredited, let's say AUS,
All right.
AUD, Sharjah University, all of these universities, right? Let's say that are based in the UAE. You cannot go to them with A levels, private A levels.
All
You need to
right.
have a school certificate, and then you studied in a school till grade 12.
12, yes.
Yes, you need to have that education. So this is a thing that most people don't know, and they end up, one of my other friends also faced the same issue. She called MOE, and they said you can't do that, and now she is also not able to go to an accredited university, of course.
Right.
And of course, there are other options. Now, of course, I would still not say that you should feel disheartened, because there are other options, like you have Curtin, you have Middlesex, you have Murdoch, you have those options.
Yeah.
But if you're
Because their degree is coming from the parent,
Yes.
parent branch.
Yes, exactly. And they are not MOE accredited. They, for example, they have the KHD's approval. Of course, they are KHD accredited, but not MOE. There's a difference between
Yes, there's
MOE.
a
Yeah,
difference between
there's Ministry
two
of
bodies.
Education,
Yes.
and then Ministry of Education is there, and then of course KHD is like a regulating body. MOE
Right.
is like a ministry, and it's a Ministry
Minister.
of Education.
Right.
Teachers need equivalency to teach over here, and of course, if you need to go for a masters or even bachelors to those specific universities that are MOE accredited, you need to have that equivalency from them, and you only get it if you studied in a school, proper school. So that thing, I think most people don't understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were very heartbroken when you found out that all the struggle that you have did and you took A's, right?
Yeah, A stars. Yeah.
Yeah, A stars. And then at the end of the day, you were told that, you can't
Yes.
go to the university. So then what were the other options and how you ended up in Zavist?
So what happened was that at that time, I still was thinking, okay, if I can't do it here, I can go abroad. But
Right.
I couldn't do that as well, because I was this, supportive eldest daughter. And if I left, it would have caused a lot of problems. And I feel like my sacrifice is recognized at my home, and it is something I had to do.
Great.
I feel
But
like,
also a lot of parents in Pakistani community, they are not ready to, send their daughters abroad. Things have changed a little bit, but not in every family.
so for me, I would say my parents, okay, so there's like two sides to it, of course. My parents were okay sending me abroad, but not to Pakistan.
Okay.
That's another story, right? So, of course, but I didn't want to do that because I was the eldest daughter. I think I did try for it. That's also a bit tragic what happened at that time.
Which country you were targeting?
I
Which,
was I was going for America,
Okay.
but of course there was someone who I would say exploited my will and wish to go there for their own advantage, and then I ended up not doing that. May God forgive them, and I don't have grudges anymore, because I'm happy where I am today. I feel like,
This was your destiny.
yes, I would say I was there to support my parents and my sisters. So I'm happy with that. Alhamdulillah, whatever happened, this was how it was supposed to happen. So that was there. But then going to Pakistan was out of question for my parents. I was applying, I did SATs. I was going to go for NUST. But that was out of question because my father, of course, being a father, he was very scared that I would go to Pakistan, because the things in Pakistan, as much as I do not want to stereotype my own country, I think women are doing great there. Women are thriving. But for someone who was coming from outside and did not have a perspective on Pakistan, my parents did not want me to go there. My father
Yes.
was like, that place is just not for you.
Not for you because you are not in that place for a very long time. So you
Yes.
don't understand the social,
Yeah.
attire and social all arena. So
Yes.
you are coming as an outsider. You won't know the how things,
Exactly.
go there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my friends, up until like I came to Zappos, they used to call me a burger because they're like, you have very, you have different values. Even like my values, such as,
Burger and you? I mean, like, what's the connection? I don't
yeah.
understand.
So, it's like burger is a term for
For
like,
the people who are spoon fed,
no, it's for people who are, very English type.
all
Yeah,
right.
they're not Pakistani enough. They're like they're too Western, I would
Okay.
say. So they said I have even Western values in like ethics. They were like, oh, you want everything to go ethical and in a manner. You don't realize how Pakistan is so corrupt that everybody is just like acting their work out. They're not doing something. So that was one thing. So my father said that you will not be able to apply the social skills that you learned here in
Yes,
Pakistan.
that's
And
right.
you
They
and
were irrelevant there.
yeah. And I would say that that is something most parents do. They don't send their kids to Pakistan, even though Pakistan's university system, education system is really good. I will always say that it is good. There's a lot of you take NUST. NUST is such an amazing university. You see the campus; it's nothing like any other campus. Like, it's really amazing. The facilities, everything. You take LUMS, but of course, there's this thing where parents, of course, are scared for their daughter's
Right,
safety
right.
and they don't send them.
I
So
understand.
that option, of course, all of them went along. I was at home for 1.5 year after A levels. I was teaching kids. Now, Miss Satya, my teacher, she told me, "You're capable enough to teach my students, A level students." I was doubting myself. I was like, "Wait, me, A level students? They have a
They were
future."
here age fellas almost.
Yeah. And I was like, they have a future, It's like board exam is not just a joke. I wouldn't trust someone to teach me if they were capable enough. So I thought, really? And then she said, yes, do it. I started teaching them. I had a huge class. And what's the best part is like one of my student is now my friend. He told me he didn't have the financial resources to study. He's like, "Could you help me out?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, come into class. I don't mind." So that helped kind of like
You
trickle
could
down.
feel his pain.
I could feel his pain. I was like, "It's okay. Once keeping one or two students who are not paying will not do me anything. It won't affect me." And I'm happy that I was able to help him. Today, he messages me often, "You're my savior. Because of you, I did my A levels.
You're my
Without you, I wouldn't
savior.
even complete my high school." And that thing is such a good feeling that I was able to help someone achieve that. And I feel like when you know, you make a path for someone, there's also a path for you
That's
in
very
all of that.
right.
Because I feel like the world doesn't work on if you do good, it's gonna give you bad. Sometimes you don't realize there's good because you're going through so much. Because sometimes even now I just get depressed. I'm like, life isn't going how it's supposed. But you don't realize there's like some good things in it, like having a mother who can cook for you, having siblings who love you.
That
And
deep sense of gratitude,
yes,
that
having
the
a
things
father
that
who
you are
drives
having.
who drives you for long hours to your uni, all of those things, they matter. These are the good things that you got in life. And I think that for me, of course, I feel like these small things, when you're struggling, these small things you learn along the way. That's really important. People,
I really regard you for this, that at this age you are understanding this deep sense of gratitude, that no matter wherever we are in the circumstances, life doesn't treat us well, we don't get what we want or what we deserve, still to be grateful of even the little things make a huge difference.
yeah, thank you
And
so
makes,
much.
yeah,
I've even learned that in your class. You've been teaching us, and I feel like this whole thing, impacts you because see, if you are negative the whole time, of course, sometimes it's not positive. It's not you cannot be positive. Sometimes I get angry when someone tells me, "Oh, be positive." I feel like sometimes life isn't positive, but then as humans we have to be positive to survive. Because I feel like if I regret it, I don't regret. For me, one thing is that I say do not regret. What happened.
perfect.
You cannot change it. With regret, it does not change.
You
Like,
just learn something and you just move
yeah,
on.
I feel like even when in many cultures, if like a kid spills milk or spills water, they'll like scream at the kid. There's no point in screaming at the kid after that because the thing has happened. Maybe tell them, do not do this again in a way that they understand, because that water, that milk will never go back into the cup.
Very
So
right.
just stop, don't regret what happened. Look at the next thing. So when my whole thing, like everything was destroyed, now what's the next thing to do? Of course I was like in this hope that, okay, maybe I can try for Middlesex, Curtin, all of those. But even those were not an option for me, you see. So every option that I tried was just like
Blocked.
failing. I was just like falling a step lower and it was just going bad. At that time I would not say I was even though I can say, oh, I'm so positive, but I was not positive at that time. I don't want to be,
Depressed and devastated.
I was depressed and devastated. Yeah. I don't want to be, fake. Oh, yeah, I did it and I achieved it. No, it was not that easy. I was depressed. I'm a very talkative person. Okay. So everybody knows that. Even when people came to you that, you'll have a student. So
Yes.
she's going to be really
Sure.
talkative. I love to debate. I love to talk. Even the smallest argument at home, I love to talk about everything. This is one thing my mom says about me. Anyone can sit with you and enjoy a conversation. Little boys will come to me, talk about cars, mobiles, everything. I'll be able to talk to them. Little girls will come to talk to me. Old women will come to talk to me. I can talk with everyone according to their, I adapt myself.
Very
I
right.
adapt my my language, my pace, everything according to that person, so that I'm able to talk to that person.
So it
And
means you have a huge bunch of friends.
yeah, I do have, alhamdulillah, I have great friends. So the thing is that I was able to do all of that. But here's the thing, even with adaptability, right? Now I was thinking what to do next, what can I do? And then I was trying for all of these universities. Still, financially, I could not do
You
anything,
couldn't.
right? So then came the option of Zabist.
Okay.
I'll be very honest, I don't have to lie about it. Even then, I was depressed and I was like, I don't want to go. But then my mom saw one thing in me. She was like, she is so depressed. I stopped talking. I wouldn't participate in any talks. My family would be sitting around and I would just be like silent. And my mom saw that as an indicator where no, this is not right. Then my mom just grabbed me one day. She was like, we're going to Zabest for your admission. Of course, this university was not in my plan, right? It was nowhere near in my plan. Then I came over here, got my admission done. No, I talked about my admission. The way back home, I cried throughout the journey. I was in the back. My parents were in the front. I didn't want them to hear me cry. It's just like silently, like just tears trickling down my. I was just on the side. I have this habit of sleeping in the car, so my parents thought I was sleeping. I just looked at one side and just kept crying the whole time. Came back home, slept because I was just so depressed. Didn't want to stay up. Then I had to talk to myself. When you don't have to pay for the therapist, you can become your own therapist.
That's
So,
very true. Very true.
but okay, I would recommend going to therapist, but when you don't have money, this is what you have to do.
No. Talk to
So,
yourself.
so,
Talk in front of mirror.
so
Salah.
I was trying to make myself understand that, hey, do you have any other option? You don't. So what's the point of crying? You need to get up. There's no other option. And I was going to study a subject that I did not want to study.
There was
So
also
yeah,
a huge heartbreaking thing.
yeah. So then I was like, but it's okay. You're getting an education. That's what you want, right? If today you can't get the education you want, maybe tomorrow you're going to get the education that you want.
Maybe tomorrow. That's a positive
Yeah.
approach. That where I tell people that wherever life takes you, do not complain. It will take you where you want.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
Then I was like, hey, my biggest thing was I was always want to keep, getting education. You inspired me to, I just keep on want to like study my whole life. I love studying. It's amazing. It keeps you, engaged. You don't get into nonsense of the world.
Right.
You're engaged in a good thing, informative thing.
And you keep growing.
You keep growing, yes. So I was like, I'm getting an education. It's fine. Then I went for my admission. I was very happy. I got dressed up and, I took my whole family. Let's go for my admission. I got an admission. My friends at that time, you cannot imagine that at that time I came to know, I, reduced my circle at that time because there were friends who literally said, oh my God, Vera, you are going to this university. It's like the most pathetic university. You are so educated and look at you where you are today. And I was, of course, heartbroken that these are my friends. But here's the thing. I always say, do not feel insecure about your conditions. I'm talking about my financial conditions. Yeah, they're not the best, but I do not ask you for money, do I? Yeah,
Right,
I do
right.
not ask you for anything. So where do you get the courage to complain about my problems? You don't have to complain about my problems. When I'm not complaining my problems to you about my problems to you, then you don't have to discuss
To
my problems. Yeah.
discuss and judge me, right?
Yeah. And if you're going to judge me, give me a solution. Here's the thing. If you're going to talk about someone's problems, do not talk about it without a solution. If you're
Right,
not giving them a
right.
solution, don't talk about it.
Don't talk about it.
Yes, you don't need to be the bigger person over there. This is not even being a bigger person. This is just being a small, insecure person. You're projecting yourself because if you were in my situation, I know you would be pathetic right now. So do not do that. It's very horrible. I always take this approach. If I cannot solve someone's problems, I don't need to talk about them.
Very right.
Yeah.
This is how it should be, because in our community, I have seen this that we have this culture of over advising. We keep
Yes.
advising people, keep advising, and we know that they can't do anything
And this
about it.
advice is, in the air. It's not helpful.
It's not.
Like if I give advice today, if I cannot be like, oh, go do this thing. If I cannot help you and you don't have the resources to do that, then I don't need to tell you what to do.
It's
Mind
wasted.
your own business. Now, when I came to Zabist, of course, it was not my first option. I even told this to the HOD. This was not my first option. There's no need to be unreal about this, okay? But Zabist to me was a savior. People will take it, oh, it's not the best university. Okay, it's not the best university. There's always a better university than the university that you go to.
You're right.
There's Harvard, and then it's like just it goes on down.
It's a ranking, yeah.
It's a ranking, and there's no, and I know people from Harvard who are still idiots. That's okay.
That's okay.
It doesn't matter where you study from. It's what you get from that place.
Yeah. And also, this Zabist is a very, I would say, your pocket friendly university.
Yes, because when I did not have an education, who helped me? Zabist helped me, right?
Right.
It's not like the other bigger universities came to me like, oh, let's give you a discount. No, they even gave me a discount because of my educational achievements. They gave me a scholarship.
Right.
Yeah, even though their price is low, they still gave me, a scholarship to help me. I came to them, I said, I don't have the financial resources. They said, we'll help you. So, of course, at that time, people did not see that. They will, of course, take everything negative.
Negative, yes.
They will not see the positive. And today I'm here. I have learned so much from this. I've met so many great people who are helping me in my journey.
That's right.
There's
That's
you,
right.
there's my friends that I met, and I think that is enough for me.
That's enough.
That's
yes,
enough.
yes.
And people need to recognize that the places that they see as lower are the ones that's supporting people. You see that small shop which is selling food over there. You see, oh, it's not a 5-star restaurant, but it is feeding someone. It's their luxury.
Right.
This is my luxury. And
Right.
education is a luxury. It's a privilege. And I need to recognize that. And everyone here, all of the students that are here, they're working like me. They're supporting themselves for the education. And the thing is that when I even came to this university, I still did not have the enough resources to study even with this lower price. My mom just told me, we will do it. If God has brought you here, God is going to help you ahead.
Help you. There will be a
So
pathway.
my first semester, I, of course, did my best as much as we could pay. Then there came a point where it was like blocked, that I could not pay, okay? So in my second semester, what happened before that, I was talking to one of my friends who is now studying in Georgia. He's becoming a doctor, mashallah. He got help from Pakistan Association, Dubai.
Okay.
So he told me, go there. They might be able to help. Now, here's a big point that, asking for help is such a, it's painful sometimes.
It's painful, yes.
You cannot tell someone, hey, you feel like you're begging.
Yes.
But it's not begging at the end of the day. I feel like begging is when you are doing nothing, but I was not doing nothing. I was working.
You were doing the best you could.
My
you were
parents-
getting good grades. You were
Yeah.
studying hard.
And
You
I was even
got the
doing a
scholarship.
job,
Yes.
I was even doing a job at that time. My parents were working and they were also helping me pay, but it was still not enough. Because I have other siblings, they
Right.
need their, you have bills, you have rent, you have all of that, right?
Right, right.
And my mom was working 2 jobs and still it was not, it was not enough. And that was very heartbreaking. But at that time, what happened was that I went to Pakistan Association Dubai. There I met, there was Mr. Faisal, there was Mr. Dawood. I met them, and Mr. Dawood being the head of Education Council, he told me, we will do our best to help you. I did receive help from them. Okay, it was not
Great.
yes,
That's
I did
great.
receive, like I would say there were times when, they paid, let's say, 1/5 of my, that was the help that I needed. I didn't need them to pay my whole
fee, yeah.
Yeah, it was just, let's say one of the 4 installments. So I just needed that help and they did that. And
Right.
the rest of them I could pay. But that one installment too was very necessary because I couldn't, if they didn't pay that, I wouldn't be able to do my finals. So that was very important. And of
Okay.
course,
But a lot of people are unaware of these options, right?
the thing is, when I've been associated with them for a long time, and if you ask for the stats, you will be surprised how many Pakistani students are out of school. Like
Share
some
that.
some time ago, it was declared there are 20,000 students that are Pakistani students that are out of school.
Due to financial reasons.
Yes. And
Okay.
20,000 is not less. And last year, how much request was given to Pakistan Association for like money just for, to pay the fee? It was 1.5 million dirhams. Just saying 1,000 dirhams looks too much. And there's just 1.5 million dirhams. So you can imagine how many students are out of school. Just they need to pay 1.5 million. And this was a request from the community that we need help. Please help us out, because parents do want to educate their kids,
Of course. Of
but they don't
course.
have the resources to do that.
Right.
And the fee here is not, it's not, it's not a joke. It's really high.
Yes.
So that if you look at those stats, you feel, I felt sad when I came to know, he was telling me, he was like, there's these many students who are out. I felt so horrible in my heart. I was like, wait, these many Pakistani students, and it's like, these are not, these are just Pakistani students. There are other students, Afghani students who are also out, Bengali students who are also out. Let's imagine other students also from these countries who are out of school.
I think God has put you on this path because, once you walk that path, you can show a lot of people that path.
Yes, and
Because of you, a lot of people will now know what are the way they can still continue their education, what are the options available.
And I am so grateful that you've given me this opportunity to talk about it, because people don't talk about it enough because they feel
Yes.
ashamed.
Yes, they feel always ashamed. Yeah.
I feel secure about my whole thing because I feel like I try my best, because that is enough for me. I don't need that recognition from someone that am I poor, am I rich, am I what? I don't need that recognition from them. I just need to help people, and that is what I'm doing here. That they need to know, if these many students are out, we need to help them. And thankfully, they started a program, a project, which was to, I think it was called Raise a Child, a project. And this project, they of course gave me the details as well, because I was asking them, I was like, if we do want to help, right, students, because there must be people out there who want to help these. So when we're talking about PAD, right, so PAD helped me a lot, of course. Pakistan Association Dubai has its own education goals, and it has been developing a lot. They have developed this project called Educate a Child Project. Okay, it's a project. And with this project, what they're encouraging is that they're encouraging investors, and they're encouraging other people to,
To come
donations,
and pull in the money.
pool in the money. Because see, 1.5 million is not an easy amount, right? It's not like some one person can do it. Not like you need a whole community to do it.
Community to help
And
you.
mashallah,
Yes.
we have very capable and wealthy Pakistanis. If you
Yes.
see the wealth scale, we have many wealthy Pakistanis, and not just in
Right.
Pakistan, even here we have in America. And you can help a community regardless of where you are, because at the end of the
Right.
day, you're Pakistani.
You are
You come back to your
Pakistani.
roots.
You come back to your
Exactly.
roots.
So I would say, if they even, like, I asked, because I was in coordination with them, because of course now, alhamdulillah, I don't need help from them. I've been doing it even last semester. Since last semester, I did not need their help. I've been doing internships, extra jobs, 4 or 5 jobs at the same time. It's hectic, but it is what it is, because I don't
No.
want to take something that I don't need, because that is a resource that another child can take.
Yes.
And they have been helping around 200 students since last year, and that's a huge amount. If you collect 200 people in this room, they wouldn't fit. So that's a
Right.
lot of students, and
Yes.
that's like 200
And their
futures.
annual fee.
Yeah.
They are covering their annual, like
I'm
monthly.
not
They
sure
are
about
giving
that, but like they are covering their fee.
covering their fee.
Regardless, that child is completing the education, right? Even if it's like one step, one grade at a time, right? And that's like 200 different families, 200 different futures.
Right.
Like that's a great thing.
That's a great
Yeah.
thing.
So they even gave there's if I would say, among our audience, if there's someone who's capable enough, they can go and donate into this project, and they can go and meet those people. Just they will give you a clear idea of how this is happening. It's very clear. It's not like a child comes and says, oh, I don't have money. No, they ask for full documentations. I had to give full documentations to them, that hey, this is the fee. Then they send the money straight up to the institution, not to you.
Not to you. Yes.
So it's very clear. It's very,
and they're really
transparent.
there to help you.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And it's not a humiliating process. It's a very, kind process. So if anyone doesn't feel like, getting help, if they feel they'll feel humiliated, no, it will not be like that. And if anyone wants to donate, please donate it. And they have given, of course, there will be, I hope you can share the email with them, and it will be in the video for sure, right?
Yes,
So we
it will be in
discussed
the
about this.
description link.
Exactly, great. So, they can go to that email, write to them that, hey, we want to donate. And of course, if you're a corporation, or even if you're an individual and you feel like you need to donate, and I understand that people do that, the people who want to, and I feel like if you're educating someone, that's the biggest donation.
Yes,
You know,
because you are saving somebody's future.
yes, giving someone food, okay, that those are necessities, but educating someone will bring food to their table.
Right.
Will make others get food on their table as well, because
Right.
today they help me, I'm going to help someone else. And that's like not just one person, 5, 6 people. So it's like you're educating one person, but you're helping 5, 6 people.
5, 6 people.
Exactly. So that's the thing, that if anyone wants to donate, I would encourage them to go to their email, write them, and tell them that they want to donate an amount.
Right, right. That's a good initiative.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, what else? How would people who are not in the school and who still want to get education, what are their ways? I want you to break it down into simple steps and into free of cost options.
See, now I would say, regardless of your money, you need to educate yourself. And I know it's not easy on the surface level. You say, oh, you don't have money, but you still need an education. No, I am telling you from my experience that don't stop your education. Of course, you have platforms like YouTube and everything. Do not stop learning. Never. If let's say your parents cannot afford your education right now, just go and study a course. Coursera. I started a course over there completely free. You'll just not get the certificate.
Which course?
There's a website called Coursera, right?
Okay.
So you can go there, do courses over there. I pay. They will give you even financial aid. I just had to pay $44 for just the certificate. But if I didn't need the certificate, I just needed the knowledge, I could do it for free.
And it's available on YouTube.
No, it's available
on their website.
their website, Coursera, right?
Coursera.
So this is a huge platform where you can study.
Okay,
skills.
which courses you did?
For example, I started my journey. I have been doing social media, so I started my journey on digital marketing side. And I was like, let me learn more about it. Maybe this is a field that's for me. And I was doing a digital marketing course from Meta. It was just 44 dirhams. That's not a
Okay.
lot, but that was for the certificate. If I needed to do it without the certificate, I don't need to show anyone the certificate. I just
You
need
can
the
still
knowledge.
take the knowledge.
I can do it without paying for the certification.
Okay.
So these kind of things are, this is a platform where people can use. But let's say if you want a formal education, okay? Let's say you want to go pursue university and all of that. And of course, these things don't help with that. So what you can do is be very clear on these goals. For example, you can study privately. You can study O levels and then move towards A levels. And that is one path you can take. Then if
Okay.
you're a Pakistani and you can take the
Okay, if I want to study like O levels and I'm not in the schools, let's say after grade 6. Okay, so all the gap, how can I fill that gap?
that is okay. This is the best thing about British Council.
Okay.
You go to British Council, you did not study the grades. Like after, let's say 6, you did not study. Some kids, they don't ever study. They go straight up for O levels.
Okay.
The youngest people are like 10 years old, 12 years old. They're studying O levels. You can go do their subjects. They have a variety of subjects. You would think they have science or physics. No, they have fashion, they have agriculture, they have so many interesting subjects which you can do. One of my friends did O levels. She did tourism, and then after that she did in A levels tourism. She went back to India. She studied a hospitality degree. Today she has the best jobs in hotels.
Good.
So you can choose your field and you can study that. Okay, now here's the thing with this. If you're doing O levels and A levels privately, you cannot go to MOA accredited universities. That's for sure. But you can travel abroad there, to Pakistan, to America, to UK, no problem. In fact, in UK, they do encourage that. Many students are doing private education. And that is, in fact, one of the most popular over there. People don't go to schools, they just do privately. Because that is, over here, they have regulations, and I understand that every country has their own scheme of education.
Right.
But still, over here also, you can have education, just not in MOA accredited universities. We have one is MOE is Ministry of Education. Then there's KHDA, which is a regulating body in Dubai. And then there's SPIA, which is a regulating body in Sharjah. They have regulating bodies, and then there's ministry. So sometimes you just don't need ministries. You cannot, like some universities don't apply for it, okay? And they have their own criteria why they didn't do that. So if your university is under KHDA or SPIA, that is okay. Go for that.
Yeah,
For
you can
example,
take the private degree and then you can go to these universities.
these
Yes,
universities,
they will
exactly,
accept your
they will
degree.
accept you.
Right.
For example, you have Murdoch, such a good university. Their students get a lot of jobs there. If you check their career, even their rating around the world is really good. You have Murdoch, you have even Harriet Watt. That's a bit more on expensive end, of course, but
But
you
still,
get
that's an option.
that's an
Like
option,
if you are
yes.
done private O levels, A
A
levels,
levels,
you can go to
go
those.
go to these
Right,
options.
right.
They give scholarships, of course. Murdoch, then there's Middlesex, then there is, of course, Curtin University. So you have options. Don't think, oh, my future is gone. No, that does not happen. Your future, you have a path. There's always a way. There's
There's
always a
always a way.
solution.
Yes, yes.
And let's say you didn't do O levels, A levels. Let's say sometimes it's too pricey for people. Okay, it's still,
Okay.
even though like it's 1,000 dirhams per course. Maybe now it's a bit different. When I did it, that was the price.
And
But
how many courses you have to take?
it's up to you, to be honest. In A levels, it's like three. In A levels, in O levels, you have to do about five, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that's like it's according to the requirements of the universities. For example, Pakistani universities need at least eight O levels and then three A levels. But like, of course, it depends on different
Different
universities. You can ask
university.
beforehand. You have at least an idea what you want to do, so ask beforehand. And
Right.
then let's say if this is pricey for you, okay? Sometimes it's pricey for people. Go for the Pakistani board private.
Yes, the federal board
Yes.
have this option as well.
Yes, you have
Yes,
private education for that. I know for some people it's like, oh, it's Pakistani board. Education is the same everywhere. Sure,
everywhere.
sometimes it's a degree up, but then again, you're getting an education. Be happy about it. It's like a privilege at the end of the day,
Yes,
having an education.
yes.
So if you have that private route, take that. I know a girl who did that, who did private education.
Okay.
She, because, yeah,
Sorry. This federal board graduation high school it's the cheaper option, right?
it's the cheaper
And if
option.
I want to study on my own, can I get the classes? Is there a community on Facebook or any other platform where I can mingle, get some mentors?
This is very good for me. For example, in my O levels and A levels, what I did was I joined a Facebook community. Okay.
Okay.
I feel like parents, if your child is not old enough, I feel like you should join it for them. My mother did that for me in O levels. She
Right.
joined it with
Okay.
her Facebook account because I was still a kid and, she was scared about, me mingling with the wrong people. When I
Yes.
went to A levels, I got older and I had my own thing. But at that time, she she went into that, she joined that group and she got introduced me to that community, and they helped me a lot. They'll help you with past papers, with even there are some professors in that group who will be like, if you need a free class,
Guidance, anything.
guidance, I will give it to you. So you
Right.
find those
Perfect.
things over there. Even students teach each others. they
Right.
they have
Right.
live sessions where students can come in, and like for me, when I was giving O levels, they would have these live sessions. I would just join and see, oh, these are the questions that can potentially come, and they help me
Okay.
actually.
Yeah.
So you
Good.
have that, and
That's good.
I'm not very familiar with Pakistani board, but there must be. There's always a way, and there's always a community
There's
online.
always a community for everything.
Yes, and you find that right community, you get the help. So I feel like yes, there's always help. Don't feel disheartened that, hey, I don't have any other
Yes,
option.
yes. Also, because sometimes what happens is in our culture, girls get married and they did not finish their high school education. Okay, those girls can also do it, right? They
Yes,
can
they can
also
do
take
privately.
they
Yeah, they
can do
can do it
privately.
privately. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes, that's a very good option for them, of
Yeah.
course.
So I think it's very important that we encourage all those 20,000 students who are not currently studying, wherever they are in their journey, we should help them, we should educate them, and
Exactly.
also tell them that there is a way that they can get financial help
Yes.
through BAD, right?
Yes.
The way you
But the
explained
thing
it.
is, like Pakistan Association Dubai tries so hard, but then of course they need donations, right? And
Right.
this is the thing, our community sometimes doesn't know or does not want to help sometimes, and I feel like that's very disheartening. When you have the capabilities, I always say to myself, if I have a little bit of more money, I'm going to help them. That's what I
Right.
want to do. Educating a child is the best thing you can
It's
do
the
in the
best
world.
thing. Yeah, teach them art of fishing so they can fish for the rest of their life.
Exactly.
Okay, Afeerah. So, how would you support people to help them? How would you guide them? How would you motivate them? How people should? How can a normal person would know? Because you shared these stats with us, but a normal Pakistani people who are privileged, who are living a nice privileged life, they won't understand that how many people out there need their help and need their help in terms of finances, in terms of their knowledge, everything. So, how can we come together as a community to help each other?
I would say Now, of course, where I get help, I also give help. Last Ramadan, my mother told her friends that, hey, Pakistan Association is there. So, how about this time we take our fitrana and we give it to those children? She asked all, of course, you cannot collect the money yourself because it does not seem ethical because some people might think you do not have the right intentions. So what my mom did was that she asked them, could you give your bank account for, where you get the donations? She sent it to all her friends. She sent it to me. She said, send it to all your friends. We sent it to all our friends and that went there. So, this amount, people, even the normal person who is not really a rich person, you would say, has to give, right? So
Right.
just give that. You don't, it's 100 average from each family is like 100, 120. So give 100, 120. Maybe, if you see in Pakistani schools in Sharjah, their fee is like for per month is like 600. So let's say six people gathered, you can pay a child's fee. That's like
Right.
so great. And if you're, let's say, this is just six people paying one child's fee. So imagine if 100, 200 people just pay that to Pakistan Association Dubai.
And it's not too much.
It's not too
It's
much.
not too much. Yes.
Exactly. And this is the amount that they're giving, which they need to pay
They need to
anyways.
be anyways. Yes.
Anyways.
Yes.
So this is the smaller steps. And of course, we have the bigger steps that people can take. The ones who are capable of giving more, they can give more.
They should.
Yes, it's all up to us how much, even the little bit, like droplets make up a sea, right? So
Yes.
these droplets can help someone out there. So this is
Mm-hmm.
the one of the biggest advice I would give. And this is the advice I would give to people who are giving. And then the people who are taking, I would say, don't feel ashamed, feel secure in yourself. It's very hard to talk about these things. Like, I'm going to think, oh, what are my friends are going to hear this, they're going to know this about me, but I want them to know this. And if I, of course, over in even in my journey, there were a lot of people who were not really my friends and they shamed me for some things, but I never felt insecure about it. I tell them about my about how I am, what is my background, because if that person shames you, that person is not your friend.
It's not your friend.
You see, the most capable people on earth, they have lived the very bad life. My father always used to tell me, people who live in struggles live the best. They are the most capable people. They struggle and they do the best. You read stories of, Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln, how he became the president. Did he live a privileged life? He did not live a
They
privileged
did
life.
not. Yes.
So I would say, of course, I'm not at the, this is not my best success story. I would not say I became the president of a country, right? But at least I'm somewhere.
You took a very difficult path, Afeerah, and you were very bold when you told your story and shared your story with hundreds of other people because they can resonate with you,
Yes.
because of their circumstances. And you are there to help them, you are there to guide them. So, if a person who is very strong, who has taken this path, you have made that path easier for others to follow. People say, if she can do it, and she's not ashamed and she's proud of herself, the way she has built her reputation, her career, everything, we can do it.
Exactly. I would say I completed my high school. That was an achievement at that time. I got a distinction. I was recognized. I got an award. I went into ceremony. It was all that was great for me. That was my first time. Then I went to university. Now this is my achievement, going to university.
Afira, I do not understand this mindset that I have recently started seeing this trend on social media that people say you do not need school or university degree. You should just learn something, out of the blue on Facebook or
That's such a wrong mindset.
YouTube. You can learn that skill and you can start the business and start
See,
earning.
I agree that you can learn the skill, but you're not just going for the skill. Sometimes, a piece of paper is also important.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, it will land you a good job.
Yes. And, like, see, the employers sometimes just need that, okay, you studied this.
Where you wasted these 4 years. Last
Yes.
4 years you studied, you showed up for your presentation, you did the assignments, you did the teamwork, you have been in the classes,
That's
you
the
heard
ethic.
something.
The ethics of living a life, working resonates with how you study. In terms of when you study sociology, you understand education and work. Education is just a, like you could say, a passing, a passage that leads you to how you're gonna work
How
in
you
real life.
gonna work?
You're
Yes.
gonna do presentations, you're gonna do group projects, you're gonna talk to your boss, how you talk to your teacher.
Yes,
All of these
yes,
things matter.
yes. And you showed up at a place for 4 straight years,
Yeah.
okay? And you gave the exams. You had that stress, to
Exactly.
meet the deadlines.
See, the thing is, we live in a capitalist society, and we have to understand, for a capitalist society, you have to live like one, and you need those degrees, you need all of those things that have been set. These are prerequisites. Sure, you want to have a society on your basis where you think, oh, you don't need all of these. Like, for example, I think from grade, this 6, 7, 8 is a transition which is really, that could be summed up in one. But I would never recommend that to someone, that, oh, just go for this. No, even when people ask me if I have the resources, should I do private O levels and levels, I say no, you shouldn't do that, because in schools you learn the ethics of things.
Yes, because once you came to university, you learned a lot of things inside the classrooms and outside the classroom. And even in the corridors, when you meet each other, you greet each other, you learn.
And you see what kind of other people are there. For example, I told you, like, I missed out on social skills when I was not in school.
Yes, and you went on a silent mode, and your
Yes.
mother was worried.
Yes.
So once you started coming to school, you started mingling with people, seeing the people, talking to them.
I am a very outspoken person,
Yes.
right? So, but then my public speaking skills, even up till today, I feel like they're lacking, and sometimes I get so nervous and anxious. Last time I had this, I had to speak.
I can't believe.
Literally, everybody
can't
says,
believe that.
everybody says, I can't believe that you get nervous. I get very nervous on stage. That is because
People get nervous by talking to you, that because you are so confident, mashallah.
the thing is, thank you so much. The thing is, I feel anxious, and I feel like that is because I did not have that, that transition where I could build my confidence at school. I even tell my sisters, talk in your school. Like, recently, my
How
sister,
much more confidence are you dreaming of?
I feel like there should be enough confidence that when someone comes to you, you don't feel flustered.
Yes.
You should be able to talk. This thing comes in university. Where you go to university, you have the confidence. If someone asks you, hey, you answer. So you have the answer at the tip of your tongue. Like, if I'm studying something, I should be able to answer them. For example, if
Right.
today someone asks me something even related to why should we go to university, I have the answer at the tip of my tongue because I've been there. I know everything. And even small things. For example, when you were teaching us, you were not just teaching us the subject itself. You were teaching us the guidelines of how to live a life, and that thing is very important. You learn things from people.
Right.
Those professors are not idiots who studied all their lives, came here to teach you.
Yes.
They're here to teach you more than just the course.
Yes.
When I was studying a business course, I was not really a business minded person. But when I was studying that course, I realized so many things that I could do. Sure, I could listen to that on YouTube, but then the thing that I'm listening forcefully, paying my fee, coming here and listening, that really does something.
Yes.
It does help you.
Of course.
At the end of the day.
And your brain works when you are in a different environment, your brain works in a different way.
Yes.
Okay.
And
You are-
today, because of sorry for interrupting you today. So, because of university today, the things that I've been doing, I think I wouldn't have been able to do these things if I was not in university. And this is the thing that my mom thought I was missing out on. And even if we had to struggle a little bit, we should, she said, we're gonna struggle when you go to uni, but we have to do this struggle.
It's worth it.
It's worth it. She told me one thing. She said, we'll eat less, we'll drink less, we'll live in a smaller house, but you need this.
You need this.
Yeah, and it's not just about the paper. It was even about my skills. Today, if I see, I have my social media. I'm doing my social media where I'm educating kids. I built this idea of a project called College Haiku, where I educate kids on how to, study. Studying is also a skill. It's not just you
Yes.
go open your book and you start studying. There are different techniques that you can use. I give students those. I give
So you're
my
helping people to study.
Exactly,
Well,
yes.
how to study.
I'm
Because,
even-
study always seems very overwhelming for most of the
Yes,
students.
Yes. Whenever I tell, I love studying. Okay. If I have only the job of studying, I'd be very happy. So they're like, really? Why? And then because people are not taught how to study.
How to study. Thank you for bringing it up. Thank
Yes.
you.
It's like you have so many techniques. You have Feynman techniques and all those techniques, and children don't know their learning styles. For me, if I just listen to something, I could never grasp that. I need to write it down to grasp it. And students halfway of their school or uni don't even know that they have different learning styles. They're
Yes.
visual learners, they're kinesthetic learners, all of those things, they don't know those things. So I feel like
So even all their life they do not identify themselves, that who they are, what is their learning style, what
Exactly.
suits them the best.
Exactly. And you know, I feel like I want to do that. Even recently, I was talking to my mother. I was saying that I want to start this program where I go to different schools, and before their exams, exam time period, I could tell them how to study so they can do it better. This would also enhance my confidence in what I'm teaching them. This could help them.
Them as
Exactly.
wow.
I even started my YouTube.
Because this is something that even teachers do not know, and they don't know these new things that are coming up, that psychology, has revealed something new that we.
Exactly.
Okay, Fira, I want you to tell me about all the new teaching all and learning techniques that have come up, and how that can help students to learn better.
The thing is that I wanted to be on the education side, right? So for me, uh, of course, like as a student, I was thinking, how can I help? It's always about helping others, right? Because for me, when I received help, I need to help others. So students do know that they have to study, but they're not having fun studying.
Right.
I teach tuitions, right?
Because sometimes books are very, big. Okay, okay, okay.
Overwhelming.
Overwhelming. When you open, there's so many words. Because I had my younger brother came to me. He said, I cannot concentrate when there are so many words. I mean, like, I cannot read. So he used to give that assignment to me. I want you to read it all and summarize to me and explain it to me so that I can understand it better. So tell us your finding
See,
about it.
now when I'm saying I teach tuition, so I know they're kids of different capabilities. I
Right.
have different capabilities. Even though I'm a smart student, people think I will, have this just a natural, smart. No, I'm hardworking. Even if I'm smart or not, that is up to, we could discuss that, but I'm hardworking. Nowadays, I feel like people don't realize there are AI tools, there are other things that they can use. And I want others to know. So for example, when I came to my journey, I want all this struggle, I want to establish a career, right? So I want this career to be revolved around education where I help other students. I want to go to I recently decided to start this whole thing where I tell them, for example, let's take Feynman technique, right?
Right. What's
Students don't
that?
know about it, right? It's just a technique where you are teaching someone or talking to yourself as if you're teaching someone. Or let's say you even put a teddy bear in front of you and you're teaching that teddy bear about some topic. That will put a lot in your mind than you just reading your notes. That reading does not help many people. It does
That
not
that
help me.
that's right.
So teaching someone teaches you a lot. My sister was telling me, complaining, how do I complete this, whole chapter? It's just so hard. I was like, go teach it to your friend. Next day she came, I taught it to my friend, it helped me. I was like, exactly. Maybe this would have never worked for you. Something else would have worked for you.
Yes.
So I want to tell this to people. Even, AI tools have come. You know what happened? I did not have anyone to talk to, and my home was really loud those days. So I couldn't even talk to myself. So during the last exams, I opened ChatGPT. They have this voice, option where you can talk to ChatGPT, right? I put on my headphones and I started talking to ChatGPT. Okay, explain this topic to me. And then I went, okay, so you explain this to me, this. Does that mean that this?
Okay.
And you know what
So you
ChatGPT?
have a robot talking to you.
Exactly. So you have that thing where I was talking to that AI. It's just a robot, and that they were like, oh, so you made a mistake here. This is not how you explain it. This is what it is. And I gave my exam and I got a 4 GPA in that course.
Wow.
Yes, I was so happy about it because these things students are not told. And me, when I was struggling all alone, my mom always says this, she's struggling all alone and she learned so many things on her own. That is true. I learned so many things and I feel like I need to tell them to other people. I tell them to my sisters, they tell them to their friends. I even tell them, that's why I started my channel, because I was like, I'm a very outspoken person, so I want to speak to people. I want to tell them something useful. But I didn't want to do the influencer side, which was just like useless.
Yes, getting more likes. Your
Yeah,
whole
I didn't
focus in
want to
that.
likes for like nothing. Even now, I really struggle to like grow the audience because people don't realize education, side is really
Because I
important.
think this is something relatively new.
Yeah,
Especially, Pakistani people, we do not create very quality content. So I
exactly.
think what you are doing in it's worth appreciate.
Yeah. So the thing is that I started this whole thing, which is like on TikTok. There's the whole thing study talk, which is like
Study talk.
yeah,
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, it's a nice terminology.
yeah.
Does that exist like, or you just create it on your
No,
own?
it exists where people have this content regarding how to study, the study techniques, and then student relatable content, even like their struggles, their trends that they participate in, but as students. So all of those things that they come under study talk. So I looked at it and I was like, hey, this is something I can do because I want to make content that helps people.
That helps people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started that content and it was, for me, I feel like when I make that content, I even learn something new myself.
Right.
I get the motivation to study more. And to stay educated is to stay informed. To stay informed is to be aware of your rights, your objective in life, and that is very important.
Yes.
Anytime someone tells me, "Oh, I'm not interested in education," I feel like, see, it's not, you might not be interested in math, science, physics, but there's a part of it where you will be interested in it. You might
So
be
you need to
interested.
discover yourself.
Yes. You might be interested in reading something like, let's say, literature. You might be interested in tourism. That is also education.
Yes.
Education isn't just physics and
Yes,
math.
that's very right. That people need to, think it in a very diversified manner.
Exactly.
You know that
You learn.
it's not only in the books. I tell people, even somebody comes with their degree, I do not get impressed. I tell people, okay, that yes, you have finished your degree, and what other skills, what other books have you learned? Do you know big authors or scholars? Have you talked about them, debated about them? So that's what part of education and constant learning is.
Exactly. People don't realize studying isn't just going and opening a book and about math and just like doing all the theorems. No, those theorems might not even help you. Pythagoras theorem never helped me in life.
Me too. I'm still waiting for the day to help
Exactly.
me.
So what helps you is, you need to see what line you want to go into and what you want to do. Sometimes even the degree that you studied, like the degree I'm studying, I'm probably not ever gonna use it. For me, I'm not getting into the field right now. Maybe after I finish my degree, I'll be interested in something, but for now, I'm not. So for now, what I was interested in, why should I wait for my degree to complete? I was interested in speaking to people, in educating people in the education field. So I was like, okay, let me get into this and let me develop myself more into this.
Yes, and also I think you are able to make these study talks because of your experience of university. In
Yes.
university, you did the group learning. You got to know about a lot of things about what
Exactly.
happens in the class, how we can give presentations. Because especially in the very last semester, when I take the presentations and students are still reading from the phone, I'm like, why are you not making eye contact? Why don't you think it's a skill that needs to be developed? Your body language. Okay, you're standing. If you're feeling overwhelmed, it's okay. Okay, Fira, tell me, what advice would you give to people who are Pakistani people who are living in UAE and facing some sort of financial difficulty in terms of getting their education?
See, first of all, I would of course say that you can reflect upon other people's journeys and then you can see that you're not alone. Like, if you see me walking around, you'll not think these problems have happened to me. Okay, so nobody's gonna
You
know.
look a very happy person.
Thank you so much. We have to just try our best. And of course, if you look at someone, you will never understand that they must also be struggling. So, first of all, don't be ashamed of your struggles. Your
Right,
struggles do not define you, they
right,
make you a better person, I would say.
right, right.
Like, if you look at me, I have done my high school, I'm in university. Last year, I won a research competition. For someone who was out of school, you would not think, hey, is that possible? Yeah, I won a research competition. It was an IEEE competition in Amity University. I won that. So
Right,
if I can do it, you can do it too.
right,
And just because there was a barrier, don't stop yourself and don't let it define you. At
right.
that time, I did let it define me somewhat, and it did make me feel, less of a person because I was someone who was so capable, and then suddenly I just fell down. So, but then I would not want anybody else to go through it. You will be depressed, you will feel bad about it, but don't let it stop you.
Yes,
Keep
you should
going.
be resilient enough to
Yes,
stand and take
yes.
your path.
Keep going, keep moving ahead. There are solutions. Keep asking other people for solutions.
Keep asking other people for solutions. Very
Yes,
important.
and
Yes.
seek help.
Seek help.
Don't feel ashamed of yourself to even seek help because that's the first step. Once you ask for help, we humans, we're not a one man island. We
Yes,
need other
true,
people.
true, true.
Nobody is a one man island. Nobody can live all alone. We are social creatures. We need each other's help. We need a
Right.
mother, we need a father, we need siblings,
We need community to
we need
live.
a community.
So if you are in trouble, ask your community for
For help,
help.
yes.
Okay, do not feel ashamed. Do
Yes.
not stop yourself
Yes.
from the
And
privilege.
sometimes I know you will be rejected. You think I was, of course. There were times I felt humiliated that, hey, do I have to do this? But you at some point, you have to have that thing in you where you're like, I'm doing this for the betterment. You're not asking for help shamelessly for nothing. You
Yes.
need it.
You need it.
And and sometimes you will feel down in your life. Don't let that define you. I'm still struggling and I'm still going through a struggle, but I don't let it define me. I am secure in that. Because one day I will be able to look back and say, hey, I wasn't just someone sitting there lying around. I was doing something. And that is enough for me. So
Yes.
make that enough for you that you are able to do. And I gave solutions. There are solutions, of course, that you can opt for. Don't stop your education. Keep educating yourself. If not in one way, the other way.
Yes. We have all those social media platforms. You can use it for your benefit. We
Yes.
have also free. A lot of books are available.
You
Material
have
is
free
available.
course websites. You have everything online. This is one great thing. Now we have resources. So
Yes.
keep yourself engaged. Even the people, women, there's so many women who got married, forced into marriages, did not get
Education.
education. And,
Yes.
even for them, they can still continue. They can take a bit of their time and then take up a course. And, even if you're not going to use that course, that education is going to come handy to you.
Help you. It
Yes.
never get wasted. It
Yeah,
never
because
gets
maybe I'm
wasted.
doing some courses right now. I will not need them, but it's
Now,
not.
now, but
Yeah,
maybe in future
in
it will
future I
help
will
you. I have
need.
done different masters in literature, in political science, in business. I've done different degrees, and they all of them they have helped me in my
Exactly,
career, in my learning, in my journey.
exactly. Like I'm taking a course of accounting. I will never need accounting, but I was like, hey, why not? I wanted a new course. I had these other courses which I was like, they're. I know about them. Let me do a hard course which I don't know about, and that I don't know where it will help me. All of
But
them
maybe
were.
if you will start a business tomorrow,
Yeah,
then you will be needing all
yeah,
those skills.
exactly. And maybe if I'm working for a company that's regarding accounting, but I'm doing my own work, but I will understand their jargons. So it's always good to expand your knowledge. Don't sit idle. We have a lot of entertainment today. Entertainment is good. I also seek it, but that's not all that is to life. Education
Yes.
is very important. I cannot emphasize enough. I come from an educated background, and I understand if my mom comes from a Pathan family. Okay, her educate. Everybody was against her university education except her father. If she did not study back then, today we would be on the streets. We would not have any money. Today she's supporting us. She supported my dad in the worst problems that he had. My dad got an education very difficultly. He had to take up different skills. He took up such strange skills. If someone looks at his variety of skills that he took, but those helped him throughout his journey.
Always it pays you
Sometimes we
back
think
on.
these skills are so useless, but they must have helped him in some
Keep
way.
learning, keep
Keep
growing, keep learning.
learn about things that you might think are useless, but
Yes. Thank
one
you.
day they will come to use. You
Yes.
might not know while learning about this certain how to read into a film, how to understand different jargons, how to look into finance, how to look into so many different industries we have. They might come handy one day.
Yes. So
Yeah. So
great,
education
great.
is very important. That's one message I always give.
Thank you, Afeerah. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for
And that was
having me.
very bold of you to talk about your journey, your problems, the days that were very odd for you, your difficulties. I'm sure that you have showed and you will show light to a lot of people
I hope. I
who are
hope.
struggling in darkness.
Thank you
Thank you.
so
Thank
much.
you for being such a nice light. Thank you all. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. See you in next episode. Allah Hafiz.